Good morning, guys, and welcome to this episode of Action Gospel. In the last episode, we left off, we were talking about chapters 3 and 4, and we went into chapter 5 as well with Everett, who is here with us again today. Welcome back to Action Gospel, Everett.
Good morning.
So we're just going to pick up and go because we've got some. This is a where we're going today is awesome. If you want to recap on where we've been so far, this is part 4 of our series through Job. So I'd encourage you to go find parts 1, 2, and 3 and listen to those before you listen to this. That way you're up to speed on everything that's going on. So let's go ahead and let's just jump in. This is great. So left off last week, Job's friend Eliphaz or Elphaz, whatever we're calling him, the homie, basically spent the entire his first time talking to Job, trying to figure out what Job had done to deserve the punishment that he had received. And so in chapter 6 and chapter 7, we are seeing this is Job's reply to the homie Eliphaz.
Yo.
So yeah, let's dive into this. Wow. Let's start at the beginning. That's a great spot to start with this.
Sure.
So in verse 2, he says, "If only my anguish could be weighed and all my misery be placed on a scales, it would surely outweigh the sands of the sea. No wonder my words have been." Oh man, why do they put big words in here?
To make you think.
To make us think. Yeah, make sure that we're paying attention.
Yeah, you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah. So it looks like, from my perspective, anyways, that this first part here is he's basically saying, yeah, this pain, this grieving that I'm going through, it's intense.
It sucks.
It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, because, in chapter 5, you have the homie Eliphaz kind of, explaining to him why certain things happen. Like, in chapter 8 of verse 5, chapter 5 of, well, I don't know what it is.
Verse 8 of chapter 5.
Verse 8 of chapter 5,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're
It
good.
says, Job, if I were you, I would ask God for help. His miracles are marvelous, more than we can count. He's kind of treating him like a little kid in a sense where he's like, okay, if you do this, God is this. But kind of like
Sunday school.
yeah, he's just kind of
kids.
downplaying it, pouring some water on it or something. I don't know what it's called. But I feel like Job would know better than
Yeah.
anybody what God,
Yeah.
how good God is and everything. So I feel like this is Job kind of just saying are you freaking serious, man?
Yeah.
Are you seriously trying to
Are you trying
telling
to
me this as
yeah.
I'm a child or something? Yo, check this out. It is impossible to weigh my misery and grief. This chapter 6, verse 2. They outweigh the sand along the beach. That's why I have spoken without thinking first. The fearsome arrows of God, all-powerful, have filled my soul with their poison. Do oxen and wild donkeys cry out in distress unless they are hungry? What is food without salt? What is more tasteless than the white of an egg? That's how my food tastes and how my appetite is gone. He's just he's over it.
Yeah.
He's just dude, don't tell me this. I know what it is. All right. I get it. I know the stories. And then he goes on to 8 to just kind of continues. He says, or verse 8, how I wish that God would answer my prayer and do away with me. Because, he had that episode where he was just oh, the day that I was born sucks. But
Yeah.
I don't think he'll commit suicide, though, honestly,
No.
because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows that, for those who commit suicide, then there's no, I don't know the right terminology for it. Anyway, basically, he doesn't want to commit the suicide. He hates the day that he was born. Yes, of course, he wishes it didn't exist. But at the same time, he's just kind of praying to God to end it for him. Not for him to do it, but for God to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be comforted knowing that that in all my pain, I have never disobeyed God. Because he doesn't want to. The last thing he wants to do is disobey him and curse God. Right? He would hate to do that. That's the worst thing in his mind that he could possibly do. Why should I patiently hope when my strength is gone? I am not strong as stone of bronze. I have finally reached the end of my rope. He's tired.
Yeah,
He's so tired, man.
he's over. I mean, like you've said, we said in the last episode, at this point, he's dealt with all of this for at least 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
At least
Yep.
7 days. And now, from going from the pain of losing literally everything,
Mm-hmm.
so he's got that mental pain, I guess is a good way of saying that, as well as he's got this pain of the sores. He's got pain from, I mean, we see earlier that his wife is sitting here saying, "What are you doing? Just curse God and end it all."
Yeah,
We
yeah.
see that. And now he's got his friends, who, again, we talked about last episode, must have to be close friends
Yes.
to come to his aid at this point, trying to help comfort him or whatever they're trying to do. Sitting here saying,
They're getting him to invest in a timeshare.
yeah, trying to, in a way, almost grill him and try to figure out what he's done.
Yeah.
And now he's about over it. He's everywhere he seems to be turning, there's more pain. It
Mhm.
looks, it would seem, for him, and it seems that, yeah, he's about done, and we're only in chapter 6.
Yeah.
He's
Can
got
you imagine?
he's got 42 chapters to deal with.
I couldn't imagine, man. I mean, it's just it's so stressful to just
Mhm.
kind of just see what kind of pain he's going through. Because I mean, what would we do?
Yeah.
You know, in this situation. Like I know we talked last time about it. Like in this society, how we kind of go through things, the pandemic, and what I mean, to lose it all. And I mean, let's say that we might not have strong as a faith as Job. To lose
Mhm.
it all, like what is the thought process behind that? Because I mean, I've never lost it all, you know, thank
Mhm.
God. But at the same time, like I've had chances where, like for example, when I broke my ankles, not at the same time, you know, one after the other, and like my soccer, I would play soccer a lot. So like when I broke my ankle, I thought it was all over.
Mhm.
You know, it was petty, it was small, but you
Yeah.
know, compared to the grandeur of things. But like to me, soccer was such a big deal. So when I broke my ankle, I figured like, okay, it's over for me. I can
Mhm.
never play ever again.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until I healed and I was able to play again that I was like, okay, you know what, this isn't that bad. I was never the same, but at the same time, I was just smarter. I was, I
Mhm.
guess, wiser at playing or whatever. But you know, to lose everything,
Mhm.
it's incredible and crazy to think about. Like, you know, you just bought this new car and it's gone. Car accident the next day.
Oh yeah.
He's got his
yeah.
new job. You got fired. You know,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's like you can never imagine all of these things happening to you at the same time, but you can imagine it somewhat happening. You know, you can kind of see like, okay, I lost my job. What do? You still have a house. You still have this. You still have that. You still have that. Find another job.
Mm-hmm.
So losing everything at one time, because it was back to back to back. Oh, a servant came in, and then right after he finished, another servant came in.
Yeah.
So it's like now you have your friends coming in after your wife just said, "You're dumb. Do it. Just curse
end
God."
it.
And
Yeah.
now you're like, "I hate my life. Woe is me." And now it's like your friend saying like, "Okay, what did you do?" No, but come on, spill the beans, man. What did you do? The dude is like, "Man, get the heck away from me, man." Like in verse 14, my friends, I am desperate, and you should help me, even if I no longer respect God all-powerful. But you are treacherous as streams that swell with melting snow, then suddenly disappear in the summer heat. I am like a caravan lost in the desert while searching for water, caravans from Tema and Sheba. But they were disappointed, just as I am with you. Only one look at my suffering, and you run away scared. It's like he's seeing straight through them. He's
Mhm.
telling them as it is. Like he's not just saying like, "Oh, you know, guys, no, it's not like that." It's not like, no, like, yo, you suck, man. You're telling me all this stuff. You guys are running away from me. I'm over here suffering. You guys want to know what happened? I didn't do anything. Yeah, I can imagine that. Like,
Yeah.
when your parents yell at you or something, and you're like, "What did I do? I didn't do anything."
Definitely have siblings.
Yes, anyone who has siblings, you can definitely relate
you
to this.
understand.
You're like, "Oh, you hit me. I'm over here in my room. How did I hit
Yeah.
you?" So you know, you have these little situations like this, but Job is just going through so much, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And then his friends,
And
he's
then his
telling
friends are just there, yeah, grilling him, going, "Okay, what you do? Come on, let us know. We want to know."
Do you think in all this suffering, he's starting to be more bolder with what he's asking though? Because I mean, you see it in like verse 22. Like, have I ever asked any of you to give me a gift or to purchase my freedom from brutal enemies? What have I done wrong? Show me. Like with all the suffering, do you think he's gotten like
He's almost at a point where what's left to lose. Like,
yeah,
I mean, he's very very clearly he's not going to curse God. He's
mm-hmm.
not there, but he's not going to get there either. But he's at a point where he's like, lost everything else. I might as well. I'm going to grill these guys, or I'm not grill them back, but he's definitely being a lot bolder.
Yeah, like
with his responses. He's not sugarcoating anything. He's getting down to business, saying, okay, if you think I did something, tell me what I did. Show me.
Yeah. Like he's, how like in some cases, or because we both go to the same church, we've
Mm-hmm.
gone to church for a while now. Were there things that you could have said to somebody that were a lot nicer said, and then there's
Mhm.
some things that you can say that are just straightforward?
Yeah.
But depending on because we're human, we make these mistakes. We're not
Mhm.
going to say things perfectly every time. I never say anything perfect all the time. I screw up every day.
Yeah.
But there's some people at like a church where you will say things like explain it maybe more thoroughly, making sure you say something that you don't offend them with.
Yeah,
And
you're a little
then-
bit more careful with some
Yeah,
people, and
yeah,
then there are
for
other
sure.
people that you don't have to be careful with.
Yeah.
This is how it is. Deal with it.
Yeah, you'll go to them
kinda
like, yo,
almost.
that performance was trash.
Yeah.
And versus like having just these new people come in, you might be a little bit more nicer.
Yeah,
Like,
that was okay.
it was good, but I think we could do better.
Yeah, that
You did
kinda
really
thing.
good. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's past that
Yeah,
because
And
you see it.
Yeah, when you get into that kind of stuff, definitely when you get into the church politics of the world, there are some times when you just have to sugarcoat it.
Sadly, it exists.
Yeah.
We're not blind to it, and
Mhm.
you shouldn't be. You
Yeah.
have to open your eyes to the vision
Yeah.
of the church,
You have to understand that the churches of today are
different than the ones in the past.
yeah, and they're definitely run by human.
Yeah, humans that
But-
make mistakes,
Yeah, humans that make mistakes.
but it's
but,
okay though.
yeah.
I mean, there are times where you will say things boldly, and sometimes you'll say things with more love and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I mean, obviously, you want to say it with love every
Yeah.
time. You want to mean well when you say things, just like Job is trying to I'm pretty sure Job isn't through his suffering. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why he's saying it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, maybe on other cases he wouldn't say it like this. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you were covered in boils
situation, yeah,
that were painful, would you say it?
his
straightforward?
situation almost allows him to talk the way that he's talking.
Sure.
And then that's part of maturing and gaining wisdom is understanding when to be bold in what
Yeah.
you're saying and when to sugarcoat
Sure.
at the same time. But
Sure. I
yeah,
just love it, man. It says 22. Have I ever asked any of you to give me a gift, purchase my freedom? Have I ever done any wrong? 24.
Teach me and I will be quiet. Show
Mhm.
me where I have been wrong. How painful are honest words. That's
Yeah,
cool right there. How
25.
painful are honest words. What do your arguments prove?
Yeah, mine says the truth is always painful, but your arguments prove nothing. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly,
Yeah.
the truth is painful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And that's again, we can get into the society we live in today, and the truth is often altered to sound better than it actually is.
Sure.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
have you ever been in the situation where like someone will ask you, and not just someone, maybe like a significant other or a wife or somebody.
You're alluding to something. I got you.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get there without
And
condemning myself.
without getting yourself in trouble. Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is like, have you ever had the question of, how do I look in this dress?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we're both married. We both
Yeah,
have
yeah.
wives, and this is where that verse 25 comes in a sense. The truth is always painful, but your arguments prove nothing. So I mean, like,
that on a shirt every time you have to.
yeah, I have to be
Play the
very.
card. Look, Job 6:25.
Like, yes, the truth sucks, but sometimes we need that truth.
Yeah.
We absolutely need that truth. I mean, if it wasn't for the truth of Jesus Christ, obviously, like, we all fall short of the glory of God. We all who sin obviously aren't doing very well in life.
Yeah.
So it's like that truth sucks to hear, because no matter how hard we try, we're still gonna fall short.
Yep.
We're still gonna screw up, and we're still not gonna make it there every time.
Yeah.
But for God to say, "I forgive you,"
Mm-hmm.
and accepting that forgiveness, accepting that grace, then the truth isn't so painful anymore. But in this case, it's painful.
Yeah.
Painful arguments. They prove nothing.
Yeah.
Verse was 26.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here I am desperate, and you consider my words as worthless as wind. Why you would sell an orphan or your own neighbor? Look me straight in the eye. I won't lie to you. Stop accusing me falsely. My reputation is at stake. I know right from wrong, and I am not telling lies. Just continues to just like, dude,
He's like, you think I did this?
Yeah.
Listen, no.
how dare you?
How
His
dare
reputation,
you say
reputation
this?
was a big thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it still is.
I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah.
My reputation
mean-
sucks.
For a lot of people today, there are a lot of people out there today that have made some
Big moves
big moves
based on the reputation.
based on their reputation. There are
Yeah.
a lot of people that reputation is everything
Oh, for
to them.
Yeah, no, I don't deny that for
And
anything.
back then, where it's that same kind of thing that, what was a man without his word
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
That if you didn't have your word, you had nothing.
yeah. Have you ever read The Crucible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just like
it's
that,
that
right?
same thing. Yeah, yeah.
If you guys don't know what The Crucible is, Walter's gonna tell you. I'm kidding.
In a
I'll tell-
later episode, once I try to remember what I did in my 11th grade English class.
I actually learned. Yeah, it was 11th grade.
It was 11th
The
grade
Crucible. I got to play John Proctor.
Oh,
Because you know
look
how
at you.
in the book it's like it's in sections where like, okay, this is an actor, this is actress, actor. So
yeah,
our book
it's,
had
it's
it
a
like that.
play,
Yeah, so that's what the word is. Play.
drama, whatever.
Whatever.
Soap
So-
opera.
I got to play John Proctor. I was the voice of John Proctor, and I remember reading the last lines where it was like he didn't want to tell a lie, saying that he believed in Satan and witchcraft and all that other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because if he did, then his name would be just thrown away, slandered forever. And this is back in Pilgrim time, okay? So there wasn't like anything.
We're back in like
amazing.
the 1700s.
So basically, like he didn't want to lie.
Yeah.
If he would have lied, he would have saved his life. Otherwise, he would have been hanged. And he said, "No, because this is my name. This is all I have. This is my
Yeah.
reputation." So
Yeah.
like
It's better to die with my reputation, with my name, than it is to
live without
live without it. Something to that effect is what he said. But
Yeah.
and we see that same kind of thing. That's right there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what I would rather die in the state I'm in right now and have my reputation and not have sinned against God,
Yeah.
which he says earlier, than sit here and curse God and live another however long.
Yeah. Because imagine if like he would have died, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if this was the end of him, and his friends go on living saying he must have done something wrong for God to do this to him.
Yeah,
And he's sitting there clearing his name, like, I'm not lying to you.
Yeah.
Like, why would I lie to you? Like, this is my reputation.
yeah,
So you see that same, circle
Yeah.
right there in verse in chapter 6. So
Yeah.
I think that's really, really interesting.
yeah. And then we get into to chapter 7, and he says, "Do not mortals have hard service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers, like slaves longing for the evening shadows, or hired labor waiting to be paid? So I have been allotted months of full. I don't like these big words. I need an easier to read Bible. This is too much.
I need a coloring Bible.
I need a, yeah. I got one of those, sidetrack for a moment. I've got one of those Bibles that has it's written out in comic strip form.
That's
the-
like one of the cooler ones.
Yeah. I don't use it for my regular
No,
studies, but
I
it's
wouldn't-
awesome.
I wouldn't either, but those are like really nice.
I did look through the
They're-
book of Job on there. There's some graphic images. They did a really good job trying to capture the boils,
Okay.
but that's beside the and the
No, yeah.
and
those are really nice.
the potter him scraping himself with the broken pottery. Y'all, That book is not for little kids.
Not for the weak stomach.
No, not at all. You may think it's a teen Bible. It ain't. It's real life. But anyways,
Yeah, verse 3.
yeah, full longing for allotted months of felicity and nights of misery that have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The nights drag on, and I toss and turn until dawn. My body is clothed with worms and sacks. My skin is broken and festering. He's sitting there comparing humanity, really, to hired laborers,
Yeah.
saying that aren't we just here waiting for the end?
Yeah.
In a way, I mean, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I heard something like that. Like, when we're born, we're literally born to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean,
I mean,
time's it's a ticking
Yeah.
time.
I mean, we're people near the end of their lives say, I'm dying, but in all reality, you were dying your whole life.
You were
so,
dying as soon as the day you were born.
Yeah.
like
It's just-
it's rough to hear, but
when-
honestly,
it's true. We've got however many,
seconds.
yeah, whatever God has allotted for each of us. That's our time limit, and we are dying from the day we're born till that point when we dead.
Yeah,
And that's just it. That's
we were slaves.
we talk about the truth is hurt, painful. There's the painful truth.
Yeah.
Born to die.
Many of us don't think about it though because of how busy we might be throughout our
Yeah,
lives and what
yeah.
we're expecting to happen in our lives. Like for most college kids or for most high school kids, their college dreams. That's
Mhm.
next in line. But
Yeah.
some of them don't know that as soon as they turn around, it's over. It
Yeah.
could be over.
Yeah. There's
So
yeah.
there's that
we
aspect
often
of it.
talk about like when a teenager dies, whether it be a school shooting, a shooting at home, car accident. It's like these big things, and
course.
because our society isn't built around a teenager dying like that. We expect people to live for ever.
Yeah,
almost,
that's
it seems like.
that's the idea. For,
Yeah.
What is it for parents to bury their kids? No, sorry, for
Kids to bury their
parents.
parents
Yeah,
is the thing, and parents shouldn't have to bury their kid. That kind of thing.
unfortunately, it's like
That's
sometimes,
that's
it's
the way God has it sometimes planned out for us.
I like to think of it as
But-
like, oh, it was time for you to go home.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this isn't
Yeah.
our home.
yeah, and that's important for us to remember. Is a lot of times we
We get so sad.
we thinking about when we put it like we just put it, that we were born to die.
Yeah,
In all reality, what you can say is you were born to go home.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
because
honestly,
you're
you
you're
can.
just here to help get as many people back home as you can.
yeah,
Almost.
for sure.
This is like a epic game of hungry hippos.
Oh my god,
You're trying to
you're just trying.
you're trying to get out there and get as many.
You're trying to eat as many
meaningful-
people as possible. That's
that
what
may
they're
not have
doing.
been the best analogy, but
You
it's
are a
what popped-
large.
you are a large hippo that God is sitting there pounding.
Yep. You are a large hippo eating as many people as you possibly can. Congratulations, we have found your purpose in life.
Again, that may not be the best analogy. You have to bear with us.
Let's hope not. That's not the clearest line.
Yeah, okay. Ignore that whole last minute. Anyways.
No.
But yeah, I mean, we're here to continue spreading the word,
Yeah,
continue
of
growing the
course.
kingdom of God, and that's our purpose here on life. That's in general our main purpose. It's how we get to that point that differs between the 6 billion of us that are here.
7.
7? Oh
It's-
man,
it's way more.
there's
now.
another billion that I didn't know about.
They're everywhere.
Oh great.
Everywhere you turn, there's someone.
There's a new one falling from the sky. Wow. Anyways, let's get back into
Yeah,
into
sure.
the Bible.
Let's see. I pray for night to end, but it stretches out. While I toss and turn, my parched skin is covered with worms, dirt, and sores, and my days are running out quicker than the thread of a fast-moving needle.
Mhm.
All right, so let's go to 7. I beg you, God, don't forget, because there's a really nice exclamation mark at the end of that. Like, I like reading sometimes,
Mhm.
and then like when I read, I like just saying these things out loud because it makes me feel like I want to get the whole gist of what he's trying to say. You know, the
Yeah.
emotion behind the writing. So
Try to pretend you're that character, not character, but
that person.
trying to say it like they would have said it.
Yeah, but then I screw up, and then like the commas, I
Or
usually
that
pause.
you don't speak Hebrew or Greek.
Yeah, sign language. I'm gonna sign the rest of this podcast. Did you get that?
Oh man,
says,
they're gonna ask me to go back to video soon.
Hey, do both.
Do both.
It says, I beg you, God, don't forget my life is just a breath and trouble lies ahead. I will vanish from sight and no one, including you, will ever see me again. I will disappear in the grave or vanish from sight like a passing cloud. Never will I return home. Soon I will be forgotten. Jeez, man.
Again, this man's going through something.
He's going through tough because, I mean, from what we know from the beginning of time, God gathered dirt
Mhm.
and he just breathed into it. And next thing you
boom.
know, boom. And that's kind of what he's saying. My life is just a breath. It's literally a breath.
Yeah.
God's breath. We are breathing God daily. Okay? Like, it sounds weird,
That's yeah.
but we are breathing God. Well, no. Well, we're just breaths. Okay? We're just breath. And trouble lies ahead. Literally.
Mhm.
Like, it goes back to the day you were born. Like, yes, everything's great, nice. You don't remember it. If you do remember it, you have great memory skills. But when you're born, it's just trouble ahead of you that you have no way of knowing that it's there,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you're constantly just living this life thinking that nothing can happen to you until you get your first accident, you fall off your bike for the first time, or you get spanked for the first time. I
That
don't know.
first shock of pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just lies ahead of you. And it says, I will vanish from sight and no one, including you, will ever see me again. Jeez. Like, he's really emotional right now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so emotional.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of looking at the demographics of our church.
Sure.
We have a lot of funerals.
We
That's
we
probably the most graceful way I could say that.
yeah. There's just a lot of turnaround.
Yeah. Man, I really hope no one from our church listens to this. Anyways,
Maybe just having me on here, no one's gonna listen to this. This might have backfired.
my podcast dies overnight.
Yeah. This is your last podcast.
But it's it. I go to jail after this. Wow, where was I going?
You're telling me, man. I don't know.
Okay. But at a funeral, there you see some of these people that grieve, some of the family members grieving, and they are emotional.
Oh, for sure.
There's some really distraught, grieving people when people die, and that's almost kind of what he reminds me of to an extent. He is not the abbreviated version. The people I know are abbreviated versions, but that idea of intense emotions to almost a point you don't know how to control it in a way, I would say.
I know what it reminds me of. I was sitting here trying to think of what it reminded me of. It reminds me of a little kid having a temper tantrum.
Yes. No, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, God knows where you're at all
Yeah.
times, right? He
Yeah.
knows. And have you ever had like a little kid, or even yourself, if you're humble enough to admit it,
Which
where
we
you've
all
had
should be.
where you had that experience where you're just like, something happened and your mom said, no, you can't go out, or your dad is like, no, you can't watch TV, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I hate you, Dad, and you run away and you go like under your bed and cry or something. Like, I used to do that. I would run under my bed and I would like
This
take my
is-
shirt off and cry.
Yeah, this is that same kind of thing that like you didn't do the dishes when you were supposed to, so
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you can't go to the park with your friends or something like that.
And you're just having this
And you're-
large temper
you're-
tantrum.
You spend the next 3 hours screaming into your pillow,
Yeah.
and you can't talk for the next day. Yeah, that's this. That's what's going
Yeah,
on.
you see that in verse 7 to, I want to say 10, because
Yeah.
he just says, I will vanish from sight and no one, including you, will ever see me again.
I'm running away.
I'm running away.
Yeah.
I disappear in the grave or vanish from sight like passing cloud. Never will I return home. Soon I will be forgotten. It's like, geez, man, calm down.
Yeah.
He's having like a super emotional breakdown right now.
Yeah. He's yeah. It's yeah. And then who can blame him? This man is what he's going through. The amount of stress that he is under is
Unfathomable.
insane. And this is almost, you can start to see the cracks.
Yeah.
Almost is what you're seeing here is him trying to
Keep it together.
keep it together, but his friends are not making it easy.
No, he's losing his mind.
And again, he's only had a conversation with one of them at this point. He talks to all three of them multiple times.
Yep.
And it only gets better. It gets fun as we keep going through this.
Let's see. Let's finish this one out.
Yeah, let's finish this one up. We are long.
11.
This is why bringing other people on is fun, because you guys have to sit here and listen to us longer.
Haha.
Ha ha! My
Joke's
evil
on
plan.
you.
Verse
Verse 11.
verse 11, which is on this page. Here it is. Therefore, I will not keep silent. I will speak out in anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. I am the sea, or the monster of the deep, that you put me under guard. Am I the sea or the monster of the deep that you put me under guard? When I think my bed will comfort me and my couch, will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling in death rather than this body of mine. I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. There's some really interesting part of this that I want to talk about.
Sure.
It says about his dreams. So he talks about how he's being terrified in his dreams. He's having nightmares in all reality, which just adds another level of almost torture to this. Is that when he's awake, he's got the physical pain that he's dealing with. When he's asleep, he's dealing with these nightmares that are terrorizing him almost.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's trying to wake up.
Yeah, he just can't get away from the pain. I mean, he talks about how he longs for he thinks his bed will comfort him, but it doesn't. He talks about how his days have no meaning. His days have no meaning. He prefers death than the body he is in, than his body.
It's
Yeah.
sad. It's a sad thing, because I mean, that's what we all kind of want from our bed, is just the idea of rest. You know, you work a long day, or you're out, I don't know, bungee jumping or something, and you just want to
Yeah.
rest. You know, you just want to just go home and sleep and just relax, whatever.
When you think of your bed, most of us think of being comfortable
Yeah.
and sleeping and regaining energy.
And he can't
he
have
can't.
it. He's being literally tortured in sleep and being awake, night, day. Like, this is something
It's a 24/7 kind of thing.
Yeah. And
yeah.
it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It really does. 15 says, I'd rather choke to death than live in this body. Leave me alone and let me die. My life has no meaning. What makes you so concerned about us humans? Why do you test us from sunrise to sunset? Won't you look away just long enough for me to swallow? Why do you watch us so closely? What's it to you if I sin? Why am I your target and such a heavy burden? Why do you refuse to forgive? Soon you won't find me because I will be dead. Again, it's kind of like an intellectual tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's now it's like gone from, I hate you, you never find me. Or no, he doesn't say hate him. He's like, you'll never find me, I'll be dead. And now it's like asking the deeper questions that have that more meaning.
Why?
You know, so
What have I done? Why have you made me the target? Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins?
Do you think he's starting to think that he did something wrong? Because now he's saying,
Yeah.
why
He's-
do you refuse to
because
forgive?
well, that's an interesting question because when we were talking about this last episode, I think it was last episode. It's been forever.
3
Anyways,
years ago.
We see at the very beginning of the book that he was very cautious in making sure that he was offering sacrifices for his children.
Yeah.
Almost as if he was afraid of
Accidentally sinning.
accidentally sinning, and so maybe under this stress, that has re-entered his mind where he's like, "Oh no, did I actually do something?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing anything. I don't
Yeah.
think I've done anything. Maybe I thought something and I wasn't supposed to think, and it just didn't click with me, and I just didn't offer this offering I was supposed to do, or
Mhm.
something like
It
that.
wasn't big enough offering.
Was it big enough offering? Did did the cow moo too many times? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I think that definitely, due to the human condition, I would have to say that he's probably at a point where he is definitely considering, okay, did I actually do something, or is this? There has to be some reason for this.
Sure.
I can definitely see him starting to think that. I mean, congrats on him. I mean, all to him for not thinking, or at least not letting us know that he's thinking that until the end of chapter 7, because I'd be thinking that at the end of chapter 2.
I'd be thinking it's just the first time it happened.
It started. I mean, as soon as he lost that, I think 7,000 sheep were the first thing gone. I'd be like, okay, what did I do?
Yep. It's like, all
He
right.
hasn't lost anything else.
Great.
I must have not killed the cow right,
I
or
must have
something.
just tied my shoe the wrong way.
Did I look the wrong direction? Like, what's wrong?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's having like this internal conflict with himself, because I mean, he already talked to his
Yeah.
friend. He already said, "Dude, you suck."
You make mockery of me
Yeah.
almost.
And then he's kind of like, starting verse 7, why is life so hard? Why do we suffer? We are slaves in search of shade. Like, he's having this internal conflict,
Mhm.
not so much like, I want to say kind of like having this mental breakdown of himself,
Mm-hmm.
because
He's tearing himself apart, trying to just almost reevaluate.
Yeah.
In a way,
Yeah.
just reevaluate
he had it all.
himself and trying to figure out where did this go
South.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. All right, here. Again, thanks Everett for being on with us these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, man.
We'll see what we can do about getting you on for some more, because this is fun. I like Job.
Oh yeah.
And Job talking to someone else is fun.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Action Gospel. If you want to get in contact with us, you know the 3 ways you can get in contact with us on this YouTube video. Just leave a comment down below, or you go to our Facebook page. If you're watching this on Facebook, comment on the video there, or go and send us a message on our Facebook page, Action Gospel on Facebook. If you've got a little bit of a longer thing you want to talk to us about here at Action Gospel, go ahead and shoot us an email at actiongospeloffice@gmail.com. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Action Gospel. We will see you in the next episode. God bless.